Welcome to Pages and Ideas. Here, we explore the most powerful ideas from the most influential books, insights that can change the way you think and live. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel and keep receiving deep book analyses packed with knowledge and practical strategies. Today, we're diving into a book that can completely transform the way you see yourself and your life. Have you ever felt like you're not good enough? Like you always have to do everything perfectly, constantly prove your worth, and only then deserve love and acceptance? Radical Acceptance, a book that brings a groundbreaking idea. What if the biggest obstacle in your life isn't your circumstances, but the way you talk to yourself? Book Introduction: Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach invites us to break free from the endless inner dialogue that holds us back. Brach is a psychologist and meditation teacher, and in this book, she combines Buddhist wisdom with modern psychology to show us how to stop fighting against ourselves. The core idea of the book. Most of us are trapped in constant self-criticism. We worry about what others think. We feel ashamed of our failures. We believe we are not good enough as we are. Brach calls this the trance of unworthiness, a false belief that makes us think we must become better before we can deserve love and happiness. What will we learn in this video? How to recognize this destructive inner dialogue, how radical acceptance can set us free, practical strategies to love ourselves unconditionally. Let's get started. Topic 1. What is radical acceptance? Radical acceptance is the ability to fully embrace ourselves as we are, without constantly feeling the need to be good enough. It doesn't mean giving up or refusing to grow. It means stopping the endless battle of proving our worth. Tara Brach explains that most of us live with a sense of unworthiness. We believe that we must work harder, achieve more, and become better to be accepted. We feel that if we simply accept ourselves as we are, we will remain stagnant. However, the truth is the opposite. Acceptance is the first step toward real change. Instead of wasting energy on self-judgment, we can redirect it toward meaningful personal growth. Brach describes radical acceptance as a combination of two key elements: clear awareness, recognizing our emotions without running away from them; self-kindness, treating ourselves with the same compassion we would show to a close friend. Example: imagine someone makes a mistake at work and immediately thinks, "I'm useless, I always mess things up." Radical acceptance doesn't mean ignoring the mistake. It means acknowledging it without self-condemnation, saying, "I made a mistake, but that doesn't define my worth." Acceptance doesn't mean we stop trying. It means we stop believing that our worth depends on perfection. Topic 2. The trance of unworthiness. Tara Brach describes a term she frequently uses: the trance of unworthiness. What does this mean? Most of us grew up believing we are not enough. From childhood, society, parents, teachers, and peers send us the message that we must become more to deserve love and respect. We live with a constant inner dialogue of self-criticism. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve love. If I were more successful, attractive, intelligent, my life would be better. This constant negative dialogue makes us live in the illusion that we are inadequate, when in reality we are already enough. Example: imagine a child whose parents only praise them when they succeed. Over time, this child begins to associate self-worth with achievement. As an adult, they become trapped in a cycle of insecurity and self-judgment whenever they fall short of perfection. How to break free from the trance of unworthiness. Recognize your thought patterns. Catch yourself when you engage in negative self-talk. Replace self-criticism with kindness. Instead of saying, "I'm a failure," say, "I made a mistake, but I still deserve love and acceptance." The power of presence. When you feel unworthy, take a deep breath and bring your focus to the present moment, rather than letting your mind trap you in the past or future. The first step toward change is realizing that you are already enough. Topic 3. The roots of self-criticism and shame. Why do we struggle to accept ourselves? Self-criticism and shame are not random. They are learned behaviors. From childhood, our experiences shape how we see ourselves. Most of us grow up believing that our worth depends on our performance, on how others perceive us, or on whether we meet the expectations set for us. Why do so many people feel unworthy? Family influence. If we grew up with high expectations from our parents, we may have learned that love and acceptance must be earned. School and society. From a young age, we are constantly compared to classmates, siblings, and peers. If we fail to meet expectations, we feel less than. The culture of success. Society promotes the idea that we must always be achieving in order to deserve respect. Traumatic experiences. Those who have experienced rejection, neglect, or bullying often develop a deep sense of inadequacy. Example: imagine a child who brings home a test with a score of 90/100. Instead of hearing "great job," the parents say, "Why didn't you get 100?" The child learns that nothing less than perfection is enough. As an adult, they struggle to accept themselves because they have linked their self-worth to success and external validation. Self-criticism is a mechanism we develop to protect ourselves from rejection, but now it prevents us from truly living. What happens when someone lives with this deep sense of unworthiness? They avoid taking risks because they fear failure. They feel constant anxiety and perfectionism, always trying to prove their worth. They make self-destructive choices, believing they don't deserve better. Tara Brach shows us that we can break free from this cycle, and the first step is recognizing it. Topic 4. Liberation through radical acceptance. How to overcome self-criticism. Radical acceptance is the antidote to self-criticism and shame. It doesn't mean we stop improving. It means we stop defining our worth based on success or perfection. Accepting ourselves doesn't make us weak. It makes us free. When we stop chasing perfection, we can finally live. How can we start practicing radical acceptance? Recognize the story you tell yourself every time you feel unworthy. Pause and ask, where does this thought come from? Is this an old belief that no longer serves me? Example: imagine someone who grew up believing they must always be strong and independent. Whenever they feel vulnerable or sad, instead of allowing themselves to experience those emotions, they suppress and hide them. This leads to emotional disconnection. Radical acceptance allows them to say, "It's okay to feel weak. It doesn't mean I am not worthy." Talk to yourself the way you would talk to a good friend. Would you ever tell a loved one, "You're not good enough"? Of course not. Then why say it to yourself? Tara Brach suggests a simple experiment. Whenever you catch yourself saying something negative, replace it with a kinder statement. Instead of, "I'm terrible at this," say, "I am learning and improving." The power of saying yes. When you experience a difficult moment, instead of reacting with fear or shame, try saying yes to it. Acknowledge the emotion without rejecting it. True freedom is not about changing ourselves. It's about fully accepting who we already are. Topic 5. Practical strategies for daily life. How to apply radical acceptance. So far, we have understood what radical acceptance is and why it is so important. But how can we apply it in our daily lives? Tara Brach suggests specific practical techniques to help us develop a deeper sense of self-acceptance and inner peace. 1. The RIN practice. Recognize, accept, investigate, nurture. Tara Brach developed a 4-step method called RAIN, which helps us manage difficult emotional states. R. Recognize. Notice what you are feeling without judging yourself. A. Accept. Don't resist the emotion, even if it feels uncomfortable. I. Investigate. Ask yourself, where is this feeling coming from? N. Nurture. Speak to yourself with kindness and compassion. Example. Imagine you make a mistake at work and immediately think, I'm useless. I shouldn't be making these mistakes. Instead of falling into self-criticism, apply RAIN. Recognize, I feel disappointment and shame. Accept. It's okay to feel this way. Investigate. Is this thought coming from an old belief? Nurture. Everyone makes mistakes, and this does not define my worth. Self-compassion, meditation, the critical voice in our mind is loud, but we can counterbalance it with self-compassion. Tara Brach suggests a simple 5-minute meditation that we can practice daily. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Think of a difficult moment or mistake you made. Observe your emotions without rejecting them. Imagine speaking to a close friend who feels the same way. Tell yourself a positive, supportive phrase, I am human and I deserve kindness. Even in difficult moments, I am worthy of love. The more we cultivate self-compassion, the less control self-criticism has over us. The power of presence, living in the now. Radical acceptance is not just about changing our thoughts, it's about learning to live in the present moment. Exercises to strengthen presence. Focus on your senses. Instead of getting lost in thought, focus on what you feel right now. Practice gratitude. Every morning, write down 3 things you are grateful for. Conscious breathing. When feeling anxious, take 3 slow, deep breaths. Accepting the present allows us to see ourselves as we truly are, without the pressure of the past or the future. We have explored the concept of radical acceptance and how we can overcome self-criticism and feelings of unworthiness. In this video, we learned why we feel inadequate and how society reinforces this belief. How radical acceptance can free us from self-criticism. Practical exercises and meditations that we can start using immediately. Which idea resonated with you the most? Have you ever felt trapped in self-criticism? And if so, how do you deal with it? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to Pages and Ideas for more book summaries and practical life lessons.